In this lesson, we are going to learn how to revert a table to a state on a particular time point. And we can do that with a flashback table statement on 3 different ways. We can revert it to system change number. This is a number generated by the system, which signifies a certain point in the lifespan of a database. We can revert to a particular timestamp, so to the actual date and time point, or to a particular restore point, which is defined by the user. In this lesson, with the example, we're going to cover the timestamp part. So for example, in a table, we could have some data, and another day, we add to it some data. And we want to revert the state of the table to that previous day. In our example, we're going to create a table, insert a row to it, commit that data, we're going to wait for 15 seconds, delete all of the records from that table. Again, we're going to wait for 15 seconds, and we're going to flashback that table to a certain time point before the deletion of its rows, right? One particular thing we have to enable if we want to execute this kind of flashback is that during the creation of the table, we have to enable the row movement. Logically, this enables us to revert that table to a particular time point. We can also alter the table and enable row movement, but important thing to remember, after the alter table, we cannot flashback that table prior of that alter, okay? So I'm going to execute these commands in a bulk. So my table has been created. I inserted one row to it. Now we are waiting for 15 seconds. And my table at current state is created and it has one row. After that sleep has been done, the delete is performed. And now the state of the table is that it doesn't have any of the rows present. Now we're again in the sleep. And my table has been now reverted 20 seconds in the past, so to a part where the data was present in the table, so prior of the deletion. And if we check that table, indeed, we can see that it has some data in there. In my example, I use the systimestamp, which is pretty similar function as the sysdate. But if we want to flashback to a particular timestamp, we have to use also the timestamp data type. And I just deducted from my systimestamp 20 seconds to go 20 seconds in the past, where the data was still present in my example table. Another new statement that you might notice is that I'm using a PL/SQL function under the dbms-lock package, and I'm using the sleep function, and I'm passing in the parameter to sleep for 15 seconds. And this is just a pause function on the Oracle database. When you check the lesson resources and test this out, this function might not work right away because you do not have privileges to use it. If you want to enable it to practice this out by the example provided in the resources of this lesson, you can grant permissions to your user with the following statement. This is also provided in the resource. This is it for this lesson, and see you in the next one, where we will cover more on how to revert a table to a particular point in time. See you in the next one.